Oh, hey there, it's Lori Lindsay, and it's Tuesday. And if it's Tuesday, it's True North Tuesday. It's a midday check in, and this is my first episode. I actually recorded it live on YouTube, but it only recorded 19 seconds. And I think it's because the Wi-Fi that I'm in right now is not supporting it. And that's okay. So I thought, well, I'm just going to record it like I record a regular video, and I'm going to upload it. But after this, it is going to be live. So what you might be asking, what is True North Tuesday going to be? And it's going to be every Tuesday. I'm going to meet with you in the midday. So that's 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. And I'm going to talk about things about spiritualism. And each week's going to have its own theme. There's going to be opportunities for you to ask questions. I might do tarot readings. I might do some dowsing rods. I might do some teaching. It might just be conversations. It might be behind the scenes of what I do in my business or what's going on in my life, spiritual and not spiritual, because I am a whole person and everything I do is me. I don't have a separate, this is me spiritually and this is me, and this is me as a grandma and this is me as a stepmom. No, I'm one whole person. So let's get started by bringing in the calmness of the universe and then release it. And the first thing I want to talk about is central nervous system regulation. And one of the things we can do to tell our body that we are safe is breathing. Something simple is just recognizing our breathing, that in and out. And doing that a few times a day, just sitting at your desk or looking out the window or sitting out in nature or wherever. It could be driving down the road. You could do some deep breathing activities. If you want to do something a bit further, you can have your exhale be longer than your inhale. So you can inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 6. And this really tells your body, your root chakra, your central nervous system that you are safe and you are grounded. So let's try that. Let's inhale for 4 counts. And let's exhale for 6. Let's do that again. Inhale for 4 counts. And exhale for 6. Doing about 3 to 4 rounds of that will really settle your central nervous system. I also want to talk about meditation and the myths around meditation today. A lot of people think, many people think, that meditation takes hours and you have to do it perfectly and your mind has to be cleared. There's so many myths around meditation. And the only thing that you're doing in meditation, your main goal in meditation, is finding the quiet within so you can listen to whatever's coming through. And it doesn't have to be some great message coming through from God or your spirit guides or the universe. It could just be something simple like recognizing today and living in the moment, whatever the message is. But meditation is listening. It's listening, and it's mostly inward listening. We already have the answers. And a lot of people say, well, what is prayer? Well, prayer is speaking to your higher power or God or the universe or Jesus or Mary or whoever you pray to. That's speaking to them. And meditation is listening to them. So does meditation have to be an hour every day? No. Does it have to be at the same time every day? No. But you should start developing some sort of practice that's ongoing. And don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't say every day for an hour when I wake up, I'm going to meditate, But do have set times in your day that you can meditate. One thing I do is I set a gratitude alarm, and it is a grounding time. It is a time for me to do some breathing or just appreciate what's going on or live in the moment. And in the beginning, I set it for just a few times a day. And now it goes off every 2 hours, starting at 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And I'll be in the middle of a doctor's appointment or, out to lunch with friends, and my gratitude alarm will go off. And it says gratitude alarm, but it really is my refocus, adjust, ground, be thankful, whatever I need it to be in that moment. But it helps me to stop what I'm doing and to focus on myself and turn inward. So that's a simple thing you can do. And that could be a 1 minute, a 30-second meditation, a grounding, a turning in. Another thing, I have a friend who says, I can't meditate, but when I stand and do dishes, I love doing that because I can look out the window above my sink and there's trees and birds, and I just wash dishes and I watch the birds, and it's quiet, and it's a time for me to just be with myself. And I said, that's meditation. You're meditating because you're quietly listening and you're quietly thinking about things, and it's not a rush moment, and you're feeling the stillness. That's meditation. Another form of meditation is getting out in nature and just listening to the animals or the sounds that are outside. Another opportunity in nature is to take off your socks and shoes and put your feet right on the earth. And that helps you to ground to the earth, and then do some deep breathing. I have a disability, and so it's really hard for me to do that. Just, take off my shoes and socks and do it. But if there's a park bench or something I can lean on, I might just take off one shoe and one sock and put it on the earth, because that grounding is so important. Of course, I also live in cold country in the north. I live in Minnesota. So there's certain times of the year that I can't put my feet on the earth because it's frozen or it has snow on it. But I find other ways. I ground by just putting my feet on the floor and focused on my feet are on the floor. I am grounded to the floor. And then I can imagine that my energy is going through my feet and down into the earth to ground me. Just another simple thing that has to do with meditation, with finding the quiet within. What else? I'm just thinking to myself right now, and Spirit Guide is talking to me. Anytime you find yourself quiet, you're meditating. A lot of people say, oh, I can't meditate because I got all these voices going on in my head, or maybe not voices, but I got all these thoughts that come in. And part of meditation is recognizing that you have thoughts, and sometimes you might have a thought and that thought needs to be released and go away, like I don't need to deal with this right now. Or a thought could come in and this is something you do need to focus on. And so you may take some time to really meditate on that particular thought. Don't think of meditation as clearing your mind. Like, I'm going to clear my mind and there's going to be nothing in there and I'm going to go with just that. That's not meditation. I'm not sure what that is, but meditation is grounding, centering, and listening to within. Because we already have the answers. We already have the answers. We just need to look inward and to trust our judgment that what we are going to decide or do next is aligned with who we are. That's what spiritualism is. That's all it is. It's not, And I think so much in our society, we are told how we're supposed to do things. Like as women, we're supposed to grow up and become wife and mothers. It's changing, and thank goodness it's changing. It used to be that women could only have certain careers. Like you could be a teacher or you could be a nurse or a flight attendant. There were certain jobs that were supposedly just for women, and it's not that way anymore. I don't know why I switched topics and moved to that, but sometimes the stream of consciousness when I do videos moves me to that. But you can be your own person. Oh, Spirit just popped in my head while I was talking about that. I think because it's so many ways we are conditioned as people that this is the way things have to be. This is the way life has to be lived. And it is not that way. That's not the way it is. Jesus didn't come to this earth to start a religion so he could go to a building and tell a man what we did wrong. And then he didn't write the big book. Shocker, he did not write the Bible. It was written by man, and a lot of stories were left out because the canons, the different books of the Bible, were closed at different times. And so religion and spirituality are really incompatible. Yes, there are people who are spiritual and religious. That is possible. But for the most part, if you're religious, you're religious. You follow something outside of yourself, and that entity tells you what to do, how to live your life. And it could be the patriarch, it could be, the religion, it could be society, it could be capitalism, all of those messages coming. But you can choose a different path. You can trust your inner judgment. You can trust your inner compass. And that is spiritualism. I can make decisions for myself. And when I screw up, I'm not sinning. I am learning a lesson and making a better choice next time. I'm not glossing over what I did because we all screw up. We're human beings living a human existence. But I don't have to go to a priest or a pastor and tell them what I did wrong. And I think so many people feel like, well, I can't take communion because I didn't go to confession. You can confess whatever you want at any time to whoever your higher power is, whether it's God or the universe or whoever you look to. For me, it's my spirit guides. For me, it's the universe. For me, it's spirit. And I'm a good person. I am not first a sinner and then a person. I was just in downtown Seattle at the market, and they were street preachers. It's been a long time since I've seen street preachers. And my sister-in-law was saying, well, at least they're not spouting hate, And I said, but they are spouting hate. Everything out of his mouth was, no matter what you've done, Jesus loves you. No matter what you've done? How about Jesus just loved you or loves you? How about we just love each other and not judge? How about that? Jesus is not sitting up there and judging everybody. The universe is not judging you. What it is doing is helping you to live a better life that's more aligned. The universe deals with two energies. One is love and one is fear. And everything kind of falls in those areas. And our life is about living more in love than it is in fear. And, capitalism, patriotism, all of these institutions that we have been living with for centuries have to be in that fear category. And we're having a mass awakening in our country and in our world right now. And people are realizing that love is the answer. That love is what's going to drive out the dark, right? So if you are interested in conversations like this, I go live every Tuesday during the midday. It's 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central, 11 o'clock Mountain, and Pacific is 10 a.m. So join me. I'm going to start on YouTube, but eventually I'm going to stream to other platforms like Facebook and TikTok. But I'm going to start with one medium and grow from there. And then I will repost it for all of you. So this one, I actually did a live, but I don't know what I'm doing. So it didn't record the whole thing. There is my, 18-second live on there, even though I recorded for almost 15 minutes, just like this one is now hitting 13 minutes. So I hope you join me. I hope you join into the conversation. I am so looking forward to this new experience of connecting with other souls. So let's bring in the calmness of the universe and then release. I hope you're all having a blessed day. Love and light.